Right, so hopefully you've just read through the article and you're aware of the major scale now, and you're aware of how it can fit into some Blink songs. What I'm going to do for you now is just play the scale for you so you can just see how it sounds, and then what I'll do is just play through those Blink riffs that I've detailed above, just so you can actually see that you know, you can actually construct some, you know, sort of really nice sounding riffs just from playing these simple notes. Okay, right, so the scale then is just going to sound like this. Okay, really simple. I'll just come a little bit closer for you. Okay, and remember that's just on one string. You know, you can play on other strings. Okay, practice on all 6 strings. Okay, so that's the basic scale, and I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, again, that's pretty boring. It's basically just single notes. It doesn't really sound like anything. You probably can't write any riffs from it, but you'll be completely wrong to think that, because what I'm going to do now is just play a couple of different Blink-182 riffs that are using just those notes in that scale. Okay, and you know, some of the riffs, it's not just some of the slow boring riffs, it's some of the most sort of like well-known riffs that Blink-182 have got, and it's all based around that one little simple scale. Okay, so the first one then is going to be M&M's. So that's a riff everyone's going to have heard of. So if you just look at the tab, if you just take a look at the tab and sort of study it, you'll see all the notes from that scale. So we've got an open, we've got a 2, a 4, a 5, and I think a 7. Other than that, there's no other notes. Okay, and this little riff will just sound something like this then. Okay, so it's a really good riff, it's really good fun to play, and best of all, it's really simple. So next up we've got Dumpweed then, and again this is using even less notes than M&M's did. We're going to be using an open note again, and then fret 2, fret 4, and fret 5. Okay, and I think also an open note on string B, okay, on the second string. So okay, so again a really funky, like an original, unique kind of sounding riff, you know, that Tom's come up with there. And again, it's just using 4 or 5 different notes, all from that simple major scale. Okay, you know, you don't have to worry about playing all the way up here and coming all the way down and trying to make this complex riff. You know, that's a perfect riff. Like, that's a perfect pop punk riff right there. And it is just those simple, you know, major scale notes, and all it's done is sort of spice it up, make it sound a little bit more interesting by doing the hammer-ons and the pull-offs, like. Okay, and then a riff that's even easier than that then, we've got Waggy from the Dude Ranch album. I think this is just going to be 3 different notes. Okay, so it's like one of the easiest riffs there's got, but it sounds really effective. Okay, you know, with the chords behind it and Tom singing over the top, it's a really good riff. And it's going to be on string number 5. The only notes we're going to be playing is string 5 open, then fret 4 and fret 5. Okay, and the thing that gives it its kind of nice feel and chunky kind of sound is that doing lots of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Okay, you know, because like I said, we're using just 3 different notes. So, you know, to make it sort of sound interesting, Tom's just doing lots of pull-offs and hammer-ons, and it'll sound something like this then. Okay, so come a little bit closer, you can see how simple it is. Okay, so a really simple riff once again there then, and again it's all coming from the, you know, basic major scale. Alright, and then finally the last riff I'm just going to show you is from Carousel from the Cheshire Cat album, and it's like the sort of main, well it's one of the main riffs, and it just sounds something like this. And again, remember, it's all based on the major scale. Okay, and we're going to play in strings 4 and 5, and I think the only notes we're going to be playing are open and 2, 4, 5 and 7, I think. So again, 4 or 5 different notes, that's it. Really simple, but it's a great sounding riff. So here we go. Okay, so like I said, pretty funky riff once again. You know, it's a typical kind of Blink-182 sounding riff, you know, an excellent pop punk sounding riff. Okay, and once again, it's all based around that simple major scale riff, alright? Which is again... But, you know, we don't even play all those notes. We're only playing 4 or 5 different notes. So, at first, when I played the... You know, I'm sure you probably thought it's just a collection of notes. It's nothing more than that. You know, you probably thought you really can't make any riffs from that. Hopefully, this lesson and article have proven to you that, you know, that's a great way of making these pop punk sounding riffs. And that is a proven method that Tom uses to play and write these sort of simple sounding but really effective riffs. So, okay, so use that scale, practice it, pick some notes out of it, do some sort of basic hammer-ons, pull off slides, and then just see what kind of sounds you can come up with, alright?